Greetings, YouTube. So by 2030, Big Pharma has decided that 40 million diabetics in America should die. Not because there will not be a supply of insulin. No, that's not the issue. There is going to be an ample supply of insulin. It's just that it will have been priced out to the point that those 40 million people will not be able to afford it. So they're just going to die. Let that sink in for a second. A drug that we've understood for over a century that is now being mass produced for pennies and is, for example, in Canada worth about 30 bucks a bottle, is going to be priced out of reach for 40 million Americans within the next decade. And they'll just have to get sick and die, go blind, lose the sensation in their hands and feet. I'm a diabetic. I don't take insulin. I don't take any kind of medication for it. I mitigate it through diet and exercise. And it gets harder as I get older. And I will probably have to be back on some kind of medication, hopefully just an oral medication in the future. I already take enough over-the-counter. I already take enough prescription medications that I don't want more than I already have. And I definitely don't want to go back on insulin. I actually have been on insulin before, and my doctor decided I didn't need it. But my drugs are already too expensive. But there are drugs I have right now that I literally can't live without. I need serotonin in my brain, and I need gabapentin to cut the nerve pains down to the point where I can sleep. And there may be a point in the future I have to take insulin. Will I be able to afford insulin? Or will it have been priced out of my reach? Or will I have to buy stuff that's been smuggled in from Canada? Or will I have to make trips up to Canada to get my insulin? Is that what I'm going to have to do? Because I will. I shouldn't have to. Really, I shouldn't. But what choice do I have? What choice does any American have? None. But lots of Americans don't live within a stone's throw of the Canadian border or a Mexican border. They can't get an access to inexpensive insulin. Insulin should cost nothing. Gabapentin should cost nothing. Serotonin should cost nothing. Anything you need to live, any medication, any medical procedure should cost you nothing at the point of delivery. It's that simple. And it does. And it's absurd. And it's all about making a whole lot of money for a whole bunch of people who do nothing for us. They're just middlemen. And they keep us from getting what we need. And they're willing to kill us if we're inconvenient. I know that the red caps are all upset about death panels, convinced that if we went to socialized medication, even though 32 of the 33 industrialized nations on the planet have already solved this problem, there would be death panels saying that you die because you don't get medication. But we already have death panels in America. They're called corporations. They're insurance companies. They're pharmaceutical companies who are deciding that you don't get what you want because you can't afford it. The medications and the medical treatments that you desperately need to survive are simply not going to be available to you because you don't have enough money. And we got assholes like Biden sitting in the office, in the Oval Office, not doing a fucking thing because he's a goddamn Republican. And I'm just going to have to sit back, I guess, and watch my fellow Americans die because the politicians won't do anything. And because it's not going to affect anybody they know, anybody they love, anybody they care about, they're just going to let it happen.